Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy, normally from the sun, into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities. This chemical energy is stored in carbohydrate molecules, such as sugars, which are synthesized from carbon dioxide and water, hence the name photosynthesis, from the Greek phos, light, and synthesis, putting together. In most cases, oxygen is also released as a waste product. Most plants, most algae, and cyanobacteria perform photosynthesis. Such organisms are called photoautotrophs. Photosynthesis maintains atmospheric oxygen levels and supplies all of the organic compounds and most of the energy necessary for life on Earth. Although photosynthesis is performed differently by different species, the process always begins when energy from light is absorbed by proteins called reaction centers that contain green chlorophyll pigments. In plants, these proteins are held inside organelles called chloroplasts, which are most abundant in leaf cells, while in bacteria they are embedded in the plasma membrane. In these light-dependent reactions, some energy is used to strip electrons from suitable substances such as water producing oxygen gas. Furthermore, two further compounds are generated: reduced nicotinamide adenine nucleotide phosphate and adenoside triphosphate, the energy currency of cells. In plants, algae, and cyanobacteria, sugars are produced by subsequent sequence of light-independent reactions called the Calvin cycle, but some bacteria use different mechanisms, such as the reverse Krebs cycle. In the Calvin cycle, atmospheric carbon dioxide is incorporated into already existing organic carbon compounds, such as ribulose bisphosphate. Using the ATP and the NADPH produced by the light-dependent reactions, the resulting compounds are then reduced and removed to form further carbohydrates, such as glucose. The first photosynthetic organisms probably evolved early in the evolutionary history of life, and most likely used reducing agents such as hydrogen or hydrogen sulfide as sources of electrons rather than water. Cyanobacteria appeared later. The excess oxygen they produced contributed to the oxygen catastrophe, which rendered the evolution of complex life possible. Alright, this is debatable. I'll read it again. The first photosynthetic organisms probably evolved early in the evolutionary history of life, and most likely used reducing agents such as hydrogen or hydrogen sulfide as sources of electrons rather than water. Cyanobacteria appeared later. The excess oxygen they produced contributed to the oxygen catastrophe, which rendered the evolution of complex life possible. According to this encyclopedia, I don't necessarily know what the truth is. However, I can give you my opinion that humanoids and all types of primates and other types of animals are solar powered. Today, the average rate of energy captured by photosynthesis is globally captured by photosynthesis globally is approximately 130 terawatts, according to this encyclopedia. I never measured it, which is about 3 times the current power consumption of human civilization. I cannot agree or disagree with what this encyclopedia is saying. I'm just reading here. Photosynthetic organisms also convert around 100 to 115,000 million metric tons of carbon into biomass per year. You are a photosynthetic organism. Read about photosynthetic membranes and organelles, light-dependent reactions, Z-scheme, water photolysis, light-independent reactions, Calvin cycle, carbon concentrating mechanisms on land in water, order and kinetics, efficiency, evolution, symbiosis and the origin of chloroplasts, cyanobacteria and the evolution of photosynthesis, discovery, development of the concept, factors, light intensity, irradiance, wavelength, and temperature, carbon dioxide levels, and photorespiration. Photosynthetic organisms are photoautotrophs, which means they are able to synthesize food directly from carbon dioxide and water using energy from light. You are a photosynthetic organism. You are a photosynthetic organism. Read all about photosynthesis, 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 photosynthesis.